Hey everybody, what's going on? So I decided I wanted to sit down and talk about something for a second. Military suicide rates on a yearly basis, how it's affected me, why, and try and keep something like that in people's thoughts. Reason I'm bringing it up is we're just wrapping up the month of September, which is basically military's version of Suicide Awareness Month within itself. I'm someone who has been directly affected by one of the more publicized Army suicides of the last decade or so. I was in Fort Gordon and in the same company as an individual who went out and wound up committing suicide after killing an off-duty motorcycle cop back in October of 2011. For those of you that don't know, just in general, there are about 40,000 Americans that commit suicide every year. Of that 40,000, 22% are veterans. Now, for those of you that can't do quick math, that is 8,800 a year that are veterans. And if you boil that down to a day, it comes out basically to 24 veterans committing suicide per day. And that is way too many. Out of that 24, only 5 of them are actually getting help from the VHA, which is your Veterans Health Association or Administration. That is a lot. I mean, you can blame it on a lot of things, but the bottom line is it is a lot of veterans that are taking their lives, and it can be for various different reasons. It's almost appalling. I'd like to know why 19 out of these individuals are never in basically the VA healthcare. Many of them don't want to deal with the VA just simply because the wait time for things is so long. Some of them just don't feel that they need the help. I mean, there's a lot of issues between PTSD and everything else that lead to this. Trying to reacclimate to civilian life after combat. A lot of this stuff is just horrific. I know me personally, for a long time I blamed myself for what happened with my friend down at Fort Gordon. I personally knew the individual. I hung out with him quite a lot. And I blamed myself for it to the point where my marriage almost fell apart. My military career almost fell apart. I am now out of the Army. Have been for a couple of years, but it about killed my entire life because I blamed myself. And you can't blame yourself when someone does something like that. That's something that you need to bring up to someone, which I didn't do. And that's why I blamed myself. It was a lot to try and take in and understand. It came very unexpectedly, even though it should have been expected. Either way, just some random numbers for you so you can put this into perspective. Between the years of 2008 and 2013, the U.S. government put roughly $430 million, that's $86 million a year, into suicide research for veterans. During that same time span, from 2008 to 2013, private organizations put in $7 million, which is about $1.4 million per year. To put that into some sort of perspective as to how high of a concern this is for the military, the government, and whoever else, Our government spends $20 billion a year on average on nuclear weapons research. That is a number that just honestly pisses me off. They have no problem sending us soldiers overseas, and we are aware of what we are walking into. But the minute amount of money poured into it by the government, whether you consider that the VA, DOD, CIA, I don't care what organization it's coming from, when it totals out to research alone only being $500 million over the course of 5 years? That's appalling. It really is. We can spend 6 times that amount, 7 times that amount a year developing ways to kill people. But not to keep them alive. I'm not really going to say much more else because I am going to end up getting mad. It's a situation that touches me in a lot of different ways, and I know there are a lot of Americans out there that feel the exact same way. I guess what I'm getting at is it needs to be something that we bring forth to our government. And if you know a veteran, check on them. Make sure they're alright. Especially when they come home. This morning, last night, whatever, we had the deadliest mass shooting in American history out in Las Vegas. And my heart goes out to all of them. The only reason I bring that up is it reminds me of the situation that I dealt with at Fort Gordon. Not because it was a mass shooting. And I don't even know if this individual, 64 years old, was a veteran or not. There's a very good chance at his age, at some point in time, he may have served. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. But it makes you wonder if he was one that served. And the government failed him in getting the help he needed over the years. Would those people still be alive and unhurt? Now again, this is a big if because I don't even know if this man is ex-military. I don't know if he's a veteran or not. I have no idea. I do know this much. If the military had paid more attention to my friend, they'd have probably seen this coming back in 2011. They'd have saved not just one life, but 2. One of them not even military related. It begs the question, how many lives have been lost here in our homeland just simply because the military isn't getting the attention that they deserve when they come home? How many have killed others because of the lack of funding and care to make sure that that does not happen? Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up with that. I encourage you to share this video, let other people know, make sure that they're aware. Don't let Suicide Awareness Month for the Army or anywhere else end just simply because a month ends. Keep it going, keep it in your mind. Push for a change in this area with the military and the government. I'm speaking for every veteran out there. I'm positive they'd all agree with me. They would appreciate it.